Hello there, and welcome to my channel where I play The Sims 2. Here in this video I would like to show you how I created my own custom neighborhood for my Build a City challenge. This is gonna be a 2, maybe 3-part video, and in the first one you will see how I got to this particular point. I have created the road layout, the terrain, but without any further adjustments beyond that. And before we start, a short disclaimer. This is not a tutorial. I am not teaching you here how to do this for yourself. Mainly because it has already been done so well by Jessa from the Jessa channel that there is no point in me just repeating the same thing without adding much of value on my part. So, if you are looking for a detailed guide and somehow stumbled across my channel before Jessa's, I'd suggest you go there first and then come back. In this video, it is me rather trying to reflect on my personal experience in creating this particular hood. I want to capture the very first steps of my Build a City challenge, which I hope will be a pretty extensive series here on the channel. Alright, without any further ado, let's start at the beginning. The starting point for me once I've decided to begin a new challenge was to go to the one and only Pinterest. Here I would type something like small towns and start browsing the pictures. I was trying to get inspired and to note some particular features I'd like to have in my hood. And once I've browsed for half an hour or so, I made up my mind on a couple of things. I wanted to have a bridge. There would be different levels of elevation in the hood, and I needed an open water source like a sea or an ocean. With that in mind, I went on and grabbed a pencil. I was just freestyling, trying to roughly get a shape of the terrain and the road layout. And as I was drawing, some roads appeared to be winding, like a snake. And then it just clicked with me. I had a name for my hood. I am terrible when it comes to naming something, but here, Serpent's Tail seemed perfect for what I envisioned. For one, it implied the terrain, so I already had a concept in my head. For another, it kinda sounds cool and mysterious to me. And I'm a sucker for puns and play on words, so giving up tail in the name of the town I was going to tell tales about was not an option. Next, I went on to my previous hood, which I had used as a testing ground for my VACC rules. It was far from completed, but still advanced enough so that I could see how much space in terms of lots I would need. Then, I tried to make a couple of layouts in an app called Hood Planner. It's a pretty cool app, especially for someone who likes to outline first, then have a clear blueprint to work with. Me, I'm not that kind of a guy. I tend to create stuff as I go, and so I scrapped what I had in the app and went straight to SimCity 4. So, remember I said I had a concept of a serpent's tail? Well, it went wrong. At first, I imagined the land being the tail with water surrounding it. Basically a peninsula of a curved shape that had to resemble a snake. I also wanted to add a small island at the tip. Well, I guess I'll just show you the pictures of what I ended up with, and you tell me if you can already see where this is going. Somewhere at this point I was like, screw Serpent's Tail, big well it is. Obviously the concept was not working out. I decided to invert it, let the tail be the river surrounded by land. This way I could even have several bridges, not one. Now it was more like what I had imagined, though still very flawed. First of all, there were too many roads, or rather space between them. This would translate into an unwieldy beast of a city that would be too hard to populate and decorate. Then, the roads were too close to the water. You would always have to see that ugly seam, and there just aren't that many ways to hide it. And in general, it didn't feel right. So, another scrap neighborhood. After this, I was a bit tired, so decided to take a break and continue later. The next day turned out to be surprising, as when I started working on the hood again, I expected to spend at least a couple of hours on finding inspiration, drawing more digs, and utterly failing. But the very first draft was not half bad, and so I went on and tried it out in The Sims 2. There was still a lot of work to do, but I had what I was looking for. From here on it was going between SimCity and The Sims 2 doing various changes. By the 7th attempt, I was generally satisfied and had only one little thing yet to be adjusted, the dead ends. This is a new trick for me, and I learned it from the Criquette's blog. Basically, it allows you to make them open-ended so that you can place a lot there. So, having corrected that, by the 8th attempt I had what you can see on the screen, fresh from SimCity. I have not used the Modify Neighborhood terrain sheet, nor have I placed any decorations yet, because I figured it would be best to leave this for part 2 of the video. If you enjoyed watching, make sure to leave your comment down below. Tell us of your experience in creating hoods for The Sims 2. And don't forget to subscribe, there are more videos to come. See ya!